What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. Man, I know we've been talking about doing military stories on Wednesdays, and I just couldn't shake this one off, y'all. Like this happened a few years ago. I got this message, and I saved it. And for whatever reason, my iPhone reminded me of that I had saved that, and it was like you might remember this or whatever, and it popped up. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize because my allergies are kicking my butt, y'all. The freaking pollen and the oak and the cedar and everything here in Texas is just, it's out. Everything's green. But anyways, I got reminded of this story. Sorry, I got sidetracked there a little bit. I got reminded of this story, and it really touched me because I try every single time to read every comment, to reply to you guys, to interact because I understand, me sharing my life with you guys. We have a bond, and I appreciate it, and I can't thank y'all enough for always watching the videos, for supporting them, for dropping a comment, for everything. So when I tell you guys that I sincerely appreciate it, I really do, and I'm always, making sure that I can read the comments and I can reply when I can and when I have time. But with that being said, this is one of those. This is a story that at the time I didn't know how to take. Um, I was blown away. I was just lost for words. I had no idea what to say, and I shed a couple of tears, y'all, because it was very meaningful to me because after all the injuries that I've had, after the injury and the surgeries and everything, we're up to 104 surgeries. I think I was burned 75% of my body. We ended up amputating the leg, my right leg below the knee. Um, you know, uh, Lost like 6 inches of intestines. I can keep going on and on and on and on of what happened to me that day. Um, but the biggest thing that I took out of that was when I had family members, when I had friends, when I just had followers reach out and they were like, yo, like you made a difference in my life. You pushed me to do this, you pushed me to do that. That was very meaningful to me. And then when I got this letter, we always search for what our purpose in life is. And my purpose, I got out the window, to be honest with y'all. At the time when I got injured, like my purpose was to be a soldier, to fight, to, do what I knew best. And that was, being deployed and fighting the enemy. And when I got injured and that was stripped away from me, I was lost. And this is the transition that we talk about from veteran to civilian. We're never prepared for it. You come in, you've known this whole world your whole adult life because I was 18 when I came in. I was 21 when I got injured, and I retired like at 24, 25. I can't even remember, to be honest with y'all. And then all of a sudden, it's gone, and you got to adapt to regular life, to no longer waking up and having that structure that you had before, which was wake up, go to PT, go eat breakfast, come back for work, get ready, go train, and repeat and repeat. That was what I knew as an adult. That was my job, and all of a sudden I couldn't do it, and I was trying to find outlets, and powerlifting came along, and that kind of started my social media, and then going to the range, just things that I love doing and sharing with you guys, and it took off. And so I was like, is this my purpose? Is it like to show people that there's no limits to what you can do? Like there's stuff that I should not be able to do, but I'm here pushing forward and I'm doing these things. And yeah, I tried it, and I had a great support system of people telling me that every single day, like, dude, you're inspiring people. You need to keep going. You need to like, keep doing what you're doing. And honestly, it doesn't resonate that well till you get that message that just changes everything. And this is that. I'm gonna read this letter to you guys. I'm not gonna say the name of the individual because he's asked me not to share his information before. But Yeah, I printed it, and let me share this with you guys. It is a very emotional, so it might take me a little bit to get through, but it's a heck of a story. It says, Crispy, I hesitate to write you as a complete stranger and as a civilian. We will likely never meet, but your story is part of my story. I taught in China and was able to take my wife on our long, delayed honeymoon. We've been married 28 years, and I figured it was about time. We went to Guam on a school break and loved it. We loved it. That's it. Until we both got swept over the reef in a riptide and drug us out to rough water. I lost her in the surf and she drowned. It is here in the midst of the waves where our stories intersect. I had recently watched the interview you did where you told your story and said crispy the F on. As a pastor, I tend not to use the F word. I've also recently read Colonel Dave Grossman's book on combat. In the midst of the churning waves, I flipped onto my back. I flipped onto my back and drowned. And then I told myself I would drown trying to reach the shore. I'm sorry, I read this wrong. It says, I'd also had recently read Dave Grossman's book on combat. In the midst of the churning waves, I flipped onto my back and did the tactical breathing Colonel Grossman wrote about. The next thing that crossed my mind was, if I drown, I would drown trying to reach shore. As I fought my way to shore, Crispy the F-on started going through my mind. It became my mantra as I swam. I'm not good at telling distance over water, but the shoreline was a long distance away. And as I neared it, as I can figure it, I came ashore nearly a mile north of where we went in the water. My wife's body was recovered about 500 yards out at sea, so I figured I was probably in the neighborhood. He said I was probably figuring in the neighborhood about that as well. I'm 5'10", 250 pounds, out of shape, middle-aged, non-athletic goofball, and had no business being out that far at sea and surviving. But by the grace of God, I did. We went into the water before noon, and I didn't get out of the water until around 3. For whatever for whatever time I was there, the only thing I could think, the only words that were going through my mind was crispy on, crispy on, crispy on. Did those words save me? Who knows? They did, however, help me to stay motivated on the task instead of thinking about anything else but survival. In a way, you played a role in saving me that day, and I wanted to say thanks. Yeah. I have debated sharing this with you for a bunch of reasons. To be frank, I'm not sure why today is different. I hadn't written you earlier because it was all too fresh, but I saw you and Dakota Myers on the Demolition Ranch video and it reminded me of what I owe you. I offer nothing more than a sincere thanks for sharing your story. Thank you, brother. Crispy on. Yeah. Um, it's it's stories like these that you guys send me and DMs and messages that motivate the crap out of me, y'all. Like they really do. They keep me grounded. They keep me just doing what I've been doing. And I promise you, I always have this iPad next to me, and I try to read the comments. I try to read the messages. I try to reply to everybody. I really do. Um, and this is just to me, not that that it's something that I needed, or but it's validation to everything that I do, because every time that I step on a stage, or any time that I tell my story on a podcast, or to anybody that wants to hear it at a campfire, at a hunting lodge, wherever it is, I always tell the story of my brothers who didn't make it. And to me, that's one of the most important things, because their names will forever be remembered. And I like to think that they're looking down and they're proud that, I'm continuing to, just keep pushing day in and day out, and continue to motivate others. And hopefully I'm living my life just not for me, but for them as well, because there's not a day that I don't think of them. There's not a day that I tell myself, why are you wasting this day? If your brothers were here and they could switch spots with you, they would take advantage of it 100% and go visit their families and love their wives and hug their kids and kiss their mothers, and everything that we take for granted. I try not to take for granted. I try to live my day the best that I can to make sure that they look down and they're like, all right, he's living his life for all of us, and he's making us proud. That's all I ever wanted to do. And so I know that sometimes they can't answer all the messages, but I try, and I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for always showing us support, for always loving the channel, for always, just being here. And I just sincerely appreciate you. I appreciate this community that we're building. I love you guys. And I really mean that. I don't care if you served or didn't serve, or if you're a first responder or not. It doesn't matter to me. Like, every single one of y'all are very, very special to me and my family, for always supporting what we do. I just can't thank you guys enough. And this right here, just, man, it's it still gets me every single time that I read it, because it's crazy that this kid from Brownsville, Texas, from down south, a place that not a lot of people know, can make a small impact on the world. And it's just not me, y'all. There's a whole village behind me, and they don't get the recognition that they should. My parents, my siblings, my amazing wife, my amazing friends, everybody that's around me, that we support one another. All those people that you guys don't see all the time, they're the reason why I keep doing what I do. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful week. I love you guys. We'll continue to do these videos on Wednesdays and share our stories, and just, continue to share with you guys. So thank you so much. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. And until then, crispy on.